Yes, so good afternoon, class. Today we are again starting with the next topic with a class science class. That is, we are going to know that what we are going to start with. But before that, we'll be discussing about some of the things we did earlier, right? Let me just adjust it a bit and also adjust myself as well. This should be enough. Yes. So let us recall certain things that when we are hungry, what we do. You will be entering your responses in the comment section below. So what we do when we are hungry? Yes. So we know that when we get hungry, we eat food, we crave for food basically. And the next question is, why do we take food? Is it because we are feeling hungry? That is related to the previous question that I just asked. We are feeling hungry, that is why we take food. But what happens when we do not take enough food, or we have not eaten for certain days basically? Sometimes for 2 days we are not eating. What do you think will happen? Yes, that will be the answer to the next question as well, that what we will get from food, because that thing that will get from food, if we do not get that, that will be the response that we'll be getting if we do not eat for 2 days. So we eat food because our body is craving for that. Our body needs food for working, basically for energy that is required to perform certain tasks. Our body needs food because in food there are certain type of components which are essential for the working of our body. So what about plants? How they will get nutrition? We have discussed about this as well. So we are going to recall certain things in this lecture first. Yes, we have discussed about this, that the process of intake of food or nutrition like carbohydrates, fats, proteins, minerals, vitamins by an organism, as well as utilization of these nutrients are, we are getting the terming it into this term that is called as nutrition. So that is how we'll be looking at how nutrition is taking place in plants. You must recall by now, and we have discussed about certain mode of nutrition as well. So we have seen that if we talk about plants, sunlight, water, carbon dioxide, these were the nutrition that were required by the plants, and in turn it was releasing oxygen in the process, which is required by us humans and other animals, and the plant was utilizing uh, the the nutrients that are there in the form of sugars, basically starch. And if we talk about modes of nutrition, we have discussed about two modes of nutrition. That is, one out of them is which is opted by plants, that is autotrophic mode of nutrition, in which you'll be telling me what happens in the autotrophic mode of nutrition. I'll be giving you 5 seconds for that. Yes. Yes, so in autotrophic mode of nutrition, plants, the organism which undergoes autotrophic mode of nutrition, they will make their own food without being dependent on other organisms, basically. But if we talk about heterotrophic mode of nutrition, we are including ourselves in this nutrition, in this mode of nutrition, because we also opt for this mode of nutrition. So heterotrophic mode of nutrition is all about when an organism is dependent on its food, for its food for on an organism is dependent for its food on other organism, basically it can be plants or animals as well. So that is why we are terming it as heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Yes, so we'll be moving forward now. We will be thinking that explain the autotrophic and heterotrophic mode of nutrition with the help of these meaning. Yes, you have this table in front of you. You will be have to explain the autotrophic and heterotrophic mode of nutrition with the help of these terms that are given in front of you, or we can say these statements which are given. So, cannot make their own food. It should belong to which category? The autotrophic mode of nutrition or the heterotrophic organisms, basically. Yes. Yes, so they cannot make their own food. It will be belonging to the heterotrophic organism category, because plants that come under, you'll be telling this, that is the next question. The Because autotrophs basically make their own food, so cannot make their own food will be belonging to the heterotrophic organism category. And consumers, who will be consumers and where do they belong in this table? They should be here or here. Yes. So consumers are those basically who are consuming others for, to get the nutrition. So if we, as we have also discussed about it, that who are dependent on others and they cannot make their own food, they will be under heterotrophic organism. So consumers will come under heterotrophic organisms only. And if you talk about plants, where do they belong? Yes, very good. So plants belong in this category, that is autotrophic mode of nutrition or autotrophic organisms basically, because they are making their own food and get food from another source. That will also be in heterotrophic category, right? Because this, they are saying the same thing but differently with different interpretation. They are trying to say the same thing. So this will be also coming under heterotrophic organism category. They are getting their food from another source, just like consumers do. So animals will be under the category of autotrophs or heterotrophs. Yes, you can give your answers in the comment section. Yes, so animals will belong to the category of heterotrophic organisms. And producers will be autotrophs or heterotrophs. Yes. So producers will be autotrophs only. Make their own food. This is quite easy. Producers will be making their own food and they will be under autotrophic organism only. And those who carry out photosynthesis. Now this is pretty easy one, because you know that we have already discussed the process of photosynthesis. We have also recalled it again. So carry out photosynthesis. Who carry out photosynthesis for the uptake of nutrition basically? So it is plants only who are carrying out photosynthesis for the uptake of nutrition. Yes, very good students. You have done well. Yes, so did you know that plants can make their own food? Yes, plants are able to make their own food. We know that. Now, by now we are aware of that plants are making their own food by utilizing sunlight. That is written again here also. They are utilizing sunlight, water and carbon dioxide, and they are in turn giving, after processing, they are giving oxygen and sugars, right? Yes, this also we have discussed earlier. So this here will be, what do you think it will be? So this here will be sunlight. Here it will be carbon dioxide. Yes, very good. And here it will be water that is absorbed through roots. Yes, here we have seen, I have given you one statement, one question in the previous lecture, that what are the structures that are present in the leaves that help to trap carbon dioxide? Yes, you will be giving your answer. So it is basically the stomata, that is kidney shaped cells that are present in the leaves, which are responsible for trapping carbon dioxide in plants. And also it is releasing, after the process of photosynthesis, it is releasing oxygen and sugars basically. That is all about the process of photosynthesis that occurs in plants. Now, what do you think are the conditions necessary for photosynthesis? We have discussed various experiments in the previous class that was describing that how sunlight was necessary for the process of photosynthesis. Also, we have done one experiment about how carbon dioxide is also necessary for the process of photosynthesis, because we did the iodine test, which showed that if sunlight is not, if certain amount of sunlight is not received by the plant leaf, then it will not be having the sugars, or we can say the starch present in it. That portion will not be having, because it was showing negative result towards the iodine test. And in the same case we did about the carbon dioxide test for carbon dioxide. There also the plant which was submerged in the potassium hydroxide solution, which actually traps the carbon dioxide, absorbs the carbon dioxide. So that part of the leaf was also not able to develop or make starch. which is showing that carbon dioxide is also necessary for the process of photosynthesis. Two conditions which are necessary for photosynthesis we have discussed. Rest we are again, there is one more that we are going to discuss next. Yes, you will be telling your observations, that what do you observe on the screen? What observation can you make? Yes, we can observe different color leaf, right? There are leaf with the color green, light green, yellow, reddish brown, pink, magenta, reddish, yellow also, right? You can see different type of colors of leaves here. Yes, the leaves other than green also have chlorophyll. So we have discussed about this pigment that is there in plants, that is responsible for the green color of plants, basically the chlorophyll pigment. So we are saying that the leaves which are having color different from green, other than the green color, they are also having certain kind of pigment that is similar to chlorophyll, basically different forms of chlorophyll. So the larger amount of red, brown and other pigment mask the green color. Photosynthesis take place in these leaves as well. It is not necessary that the green chlorophyll will only result into photosynthesis process and will only undergo photosynthesis process, but other leaves which are having different types of chlorophyll, they can also undergo process of photosynthesis. So this experiment we have done, that experiment to show the chlorophyll is necessary for photosynthesis. Now this is, now keep in mind that this area here, it is not a result of basically the different type of chlorophyll, because we have seen that chlorophyll can be of different types, and this, it can be of, if the color is naturally of yellow color, then the pigment is representing that. But if the color is not of yellow, the color is not yellow naturally of the plant, then it is the result of environmental deviations, basically environmental impact is there, or some basically some necrosis is there, which results into the yellowish color of the leaf. So some cells are losing their life here, so they are becoming like this yellow, or they're getting infected by some insects which infect the leaves, so they have resulted this form of the leaf. So they are not naturally yellow, but as a result of the environment or certain microbes, basically. So we can say that this leaf is normal, but having certain areas where the chlorophyll part of the leaf is impacted. So here the chlorophyll part is impacted, the yellow region. The green region shows normal chlorophyll, that is the green chlorophyll. So we can see that we had done the iodine test on this leaf now. After the iodine test, we can see the area which is having starch is has turned bluish in color, while the area which was having no starch has turned into white color, basically. So variegated leaf after starch test. So we can see variation in the leaf. It is not similar, right? Area unaffected by starch test, that is the area which was not having chlorophyll pigment in it, which means that for the photosynthesis process to happen, one, the plant needs to have, the leaf needs to have the chlorophyll pigment in it, because it will be helping in the process of photosynthesis, trapping of light, basically. It will be helping in that. And the area that was normal, which is here, the blue color, it is having starch in it, because glucose or we can say the sugars are formed as a result of the process of photosynthesis. The equation you must remember. So this is all about the experiment that show the chlorophyll is also necessary for photosynthesis. Now we have all done the 3 experiments. One for the test for the necessary, that if the sunlight is necessary or not, then if the carbon dioxide is necessary or not, and also this one, that if the chlorophyll, that is the pigment, green pigment, is necessary for the plant for the process of photosynthesis or not. So we have got positive results in the end, that they are necessary for the process of photosynthesis to undergo. Yes, now you will be answering few questions. Yes, I'll be giving you 10 to 20 seconds to respond to this question in the comment section. By the time I'll be reading this question, that which substance is used to remove chlorophyll from a green leaf during photosynthesis experiment? Yes, we have discussed this earlier in previous experiments as well, that what we are using for the decoloration basically to remove the chlorophyll during the during the photosynthesis experiment, whether it was alcohol, iodine, water, or bromine. I'll give you 5 seconds more to respond. Yes, so the answer to this question is alcohol basically. The alcohol is a substance that is being used to remove the chlorophyll from a green leaf during the photosynthesis experiment. So for the next question, it is a true false statement which you will be telling your answer in the comment section. Chlorophyll is necessary for the process of photosynthesis to take place. Yet we have just done an experiment to see whether it is necessary for the process of photosynthesis to take place or not. Because we have seen that there was this leaf, the half part of that leaf was affected by certain microbes, or it was undergoing necrosis, which is called the dying of the leaf cells, and other part of the leaf was fit and fine. So we have seen that what happens if we treat that leaf with an iodine solution basically, whether the starch was present in the affected region or the unaffected region, which proved that chlorophyll is necessary or not necessary for the process of photosynthesis to take place. Yes, so chlorophyll is necessary for the process of photosynthesis, because we have seen the part which was unaffected, which was not affected by any microbes, that was able to respond to the starch test, because starch was iodine test, because starch was present in that part, while the area which was affected was not showing positive result toward the iodine test because starch was not made in that part. So we'll move forward from here. So we'll be doing a recap of things which we have discussed today. So first we recall certain things about the photosynthesis process, about how there are different modes of nutrition, and what we have in this class we have discussed about. We have divided the autotrophic and heterotrophic nutrition categories in two different categories. From the list of terms which were provided, we have divided those terms into different categories according to the them being autotrophic or heterotrophic basically. And we have discussed about how plants are taking their nutrition, and how they are helpful in us maintaining our nutrition level. And then we have discussed about the test that we did to test the chlorophyll content in the photosynthesis, that the role of chlorophyll basically in the process of photosynthesis, that is it is necessary for the process of photosynthesis to happen. And also we discussed how there are different types of chlorophyll as well, because of the leaves which are not even green in color, they also have a different type of chlorophyll. Basically chlorophyll B is also there, chlorophyll C is also there, different type of chlorophylls are there. So leaves which are not having color other than green also, like pink color is there, reddish brown color is there, red color is there, right? So these color leaves are also having pigment in them, chlorophyll pigment in them, so they also undergo photosynthesis process. We have discussed about that as well. So now you will be answering these questions. I'll be giving you few seconds to answer these questions one by one. Yes, so the first question is, what is the basic difference between autotrophic and heterotrophic mode of nutrition basically? Yes, I'll give you 5 to 10 seconds to answer these questions in the comments, this question in the comment section. Yes, we have discussed about how autotrophic mode of nutrition is about when the organism make their own food and they are not dependent on others for their food, while heterotrophic mode of nutrition is all about when the organism is dependent on others, just like us, we humans are dependent on plants for our food, right? So that is the difference between the basic difference between the autotrophic and heterotrophic mode of nutrition. The second question is the autotrophic mode of nutrition requires this is an easy one for you now, but now that we have discussed everything. So the autotrophic mode of nutrition requires A, carbon dioxide and water, chlorophyll, sunlight, or D, all of these that were above mentioned. Yes, so the answers to this question should be all of this. All of this. Why all of this? Because we have seen that in autotrophic mode of nutrition, carbon dioxide is also required and water is also required by the plants. They undergo this autotrophic mode of nutrition basically, and chlorophyll is the pigment that is also required for the process of photosynthesis, by which the plants make their own food. And sunlight is also an essential part for that process. So all of these will be the correct answer for this question. The third question is that what are the material required for performing activity to show chlorophyll is necessary for photosynthesis. Yes, you will be telling me the the material that is required for performing activity to show chlorophyll is necessary for photosynthesis. Yes. So we see we require a leaf which is green from one part, and the other part it is undergoing necrosis or affected by some microbe, right? Then we'll be requiring the iodine solution for it and alcohol to make it undergo, like to remove the chlorophyll part of the it to. Yes. Just wait a second. Yes, then we require the material required is the leaf, the affected and having affected and unaffected part, the iodine solution to check whether the starch is present in the leaf or not. And we can see we'll have a microscope as well to check the cells. But if we do not have the microscope as well, we can just check it with the help of this iodine solution. It will tell us if the change in color has happened or not. We'll be having a dropper that will be drop by drop, we'll be adding on to the leaf the iodine solution. Yes. So this is what we did today. So I'll be giving you few questions for homework. Yes, we have one question and one activity for you to perform. So the question is that how do plants obtain food? Explain with suitable diagram. How are plants obtaining their food? You will be explaining with the help of a diagram. And activity that you have to perform is that to take two potted plants of the same kind, keep one in the dark or in a box, black box, for 72 hours and other in sunlight. Perform iodine test with the leaves of both the plants. Record your results and now leave the pot which has the earlier kept in the dark and in the sunlight for 3 to 4 days and perform the iodine test again on its leaves. Record your observation in the notebook basically. So this is the activity that you need to perform. It will be basically taking your time, but still it will be fruitful. So you will be doing this activity in your homes. You will be clicking pictures to let me know that you did this activity. You have made the arrangement for this activity, and after 3 days you will be discussing the results. Yes, so this is it for today. We have discussed about the leaves, the pigment that is present in leaves, and how different color of plants, different color leaves are having different type of pigments present in it, but they are all undergoing process of photosynthesis still. So that is all about today. We'll be meeting again with the next new interesting topic. Till then, you should stay healthy and happy. Yes, so the session is going to end now. You can write your queries in the chat box, or you can better to say that the comment section. I'll be checking those responses, and I'll be also checking your responses which you gave during the lecture to know if you have understood the concept or not. So we'll be giving responses to that soon. Any queries, any difficulty you are facing, any suggestions you have, you will be writing that, and I'll be giving a response to that. So thank you so much for being here till now. We'll be meeting again soon. Thank you so much, class.